everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio. Today I'm sharing with you my day 5 mixed media collage, which is for the 100-day project. I'm trying to do little mixed media collages every day for 100 days. This is a 4x6 canvas panel, so about the size of a photograph. And I am going to do some painting and some collage and some stuff and things, and I'm going to work with it until I'm happy, which takes me a while. But of course, this is sped up 4 times fast, so I can fit into 15 minutes for you guys. I did this on the Art Joy of Sharing live stream today and some other stuff. We were working with fluid media. That was our theme for today on the live stream. And so I'm going to be working with some different fluid media on this project. The first thing I did is I wanted to put another coat of gesso. These canvas panels do come with gesso on them, but sometimes I want to just do another coat just to be on the safe side. And I wanted it to be tinted. So I took my golden white gesso and I added a little bit of media fluid acrylic paint that was primary magenta color to make like a light pink tint gesso. You know, gesso doesn't have to be white. There's black gesso, there's gold gesso, there's a gesso that is kind of an iron oxide color, like a red. I'm sure there's other colors too, but those are the ones that I've seen. And I do actually have black gesso and gold gesso from Daniel Smith in my repertoire, which I use sometimes. You never know. Is the gesso going to show? Is it just a base coat, or is it there parts of it that are going to show through the mixed media collage? I ended up doing kind of a sort of an abstract again today. I did add a heart, so I guess it's not abstract, but it started out abstract. And I'm using these acrylic inks, which I really enjoy. I want to buy more colors. I think I'm kind of addicted to them. These 3 are from Sennelier Abstract Inks, they're called. And I think I have one that's a red, one that's kind of a terracotta orange color, and one that is a bright pink that I used today. And kind of going with the warm colors. You can see on the left-hand side the papers that I pulled to collage with. That was what I was attracted to today when I was going through my stack of papers. And then I ended up adding some blue with it. I made some marks with a blue scribble stick, Dina Wakley scribble stick. That's one of the many, many type of water-soluble crayon type things that are available out there in the world. Tons of them, tons of different kinds. The scribble sticks are more waxy, or I don't know if it's really wax. There's something about them that makes them not go on as smoothly as some of the other products. So I dip it in water. I just like take the tip of it and dip it right in some water and then write with it. So it comes out more smoothly that way. If you just write with it and then try to blend it with water after the fact, it doesn't blend that well. So it's a little bit different than some of the other ones. So I did some dripping with different inks on there. I spritzed some of it. I didn't spritz other parts. And then I went back in with some more white gesso. And I'm just scribbling through the paint with a stick. Just, you know, all kinds of little mark making things. If you're frustrated, scribbling with a stick through paint is really satisfying. It makes kind of a scratchy noise, and it's just, you know. And actually my initial scribble was very scribbly too. I was pressing hard. I'm happy today. I'm in a really good mood, but I just really want to just scribble. It's not just I scribbled, it's like I scribbled. So this is a rubber tip, a silicone tip tool that I have. It's kind of like a sculpting tool. And I applied some primary cyan, which is a true primary blue color. With it, I made some marks, went over some of the scribbles. And then now I just have that really bright pink that I was putting on too. And a little bit of finger painting. I don't know if I like the big scribble, and that's kind of where the whole thing continues to go, I don't know, sideways. I decided the next step, of course, is going to be collage. I really don't do much of anything without collage. That's just who I am. So I'm tearing up some paper and putting it down where I might want to do some collage. And I'm thinking that that scribble mark going vertically is really a focal point. In fact, it's too heavy, it's too dark, and maybe I will calm it down a little bit with some collage. And then, of course, I'm going to put collage in a few other places as well because I just like to do that. So I'm using these different papers that I have, gel prints, stenciled paper, um, just painted paper. I think one of them is just some painted paper. And some of it's text weight paper, some of it's deli paper, and some of it is actually the rice paper that I did a few days ago. Was it last week on our live stream show? I can't remember. Anyway, it's very thin, very delicate paper. So I've got everything laid out. I get out my Liquitex matte gel medium to start sticking things down and gluing it all down, pressing it down with my glue brush, which, you know, has got the bristles of it are wrecked, so it doesn't really matter how hard I press with it to get the bubbles out, to get everything really well secured. I prefer a gel medium. I think it works better for most papers, with the exception of extremely delicate paper like napkins and tissue paper. They work better with a fluid medium, but pretty much any other kind of paper works best with a gel medium, in my opinion. And I prefer matte, which means not shiny. So that's why I get this one. This is the Liquitex brand. I like it better than the other brands. Just what I prefer. You have to just try about, find out what you like. That's kind of how it works. So I've glued all these little strips down the vertical line there in the hopes that perhaps it won't be quite as, I don't know, scribbly. And I'm also I added those marks with that interesting silicone tipped tool. And so I decided to add some of these little punched out weird rectangle things that I have left over from doing some die cutting. They're just little rounded rectangle type shapes, and I saved them because I thought, you know, those would be fun to glue on something. And so I did. You've seen me do it. You'll probably see me more times doing it. I don't know. I still have some left in different colors. But I used the orangey pink ones that I had, or some of them anyway. So now I just decided to get the gesso back out and mess around a little bit, trying to maybe lighten up some areas, make it more interesting, more contrast. Still just not liking that area down the center. I don't like what I did with it. I still am not happy with it. And I think actually what bothered me after I really thought about it, I mean, I was talking and doing this and not really thinking so much because I was on the live stream. So, you know, if you're on the live stream, you're not really thinking, right? You're just talking. And after thinking about it after the fact, I believe that what was bothering me the whole time was there was this area where the crayon had blended with the red that I put on the one side and let drip, and it blended through the blue and then made the blue bleed. The scribble stick mixed with the red acrylic ink bled, and it looked, I just didn't like it. And it was all along the left-hand side of that section of going up and down on the piece. And I was just, I didn't like it and I wanted it to go away and I wasn't sure how to do that. So when you're not sure how to do something, you just keep working at it until you come up with a solution. Or you just paint the whole thing over and start over. Or maybe you leave and come back. Those are some of the things that you can do to try to get through that place where you're like, I just don't like it. I just don't like it. And other people on this that were watching were like, oh, it's already pretty. I don't know what you're fussing about. And I'm just saying I don't like it. It's my art. I don't have to like it if I don't want to. I can put it in the trash if I want to. I had this cutout heart. I thought maybe that would help. And then I had this piece of, this is actual napkin, like 2-ply napkin. We have table napkins that we use at our house. I know the environmentalists are turning over in their chairs going, no. But we have some older people and some messy people that we just need napkins on the table. So I buy those really inexpensive napkins. And somehow this napkin got soaked. Maybe it was on my desk and I spilled something. I'm not sure, but somehow it got soaked with some sort of ink or paint that made it this interesting. It looks like watercolor, actually. Although I don't think it was watercolor that did it, but the way that it soaked through the napkin, it was interesting. So I kept that napkin. And this is where I used it. See, if you keep it, it was just a little piece. And I tore it up and I thought that it looked interesting on this piece because it's almost looks like a homemade paper where it's got the deckly edge when I pull it apart because it's so fragile and it just rips into this really interesting deckly shape. And it was blue and I was adding the blue to the piece and I decided to go with it. So then I cut out a heart from some of that rice paper and decided to use that one. So I glued that down and then I did add some mark making to it. You'll see me get out some of it, but you won't see the whole process. The final thing that I did was actually to put glitter glue on the heart. So, and you'll see the pretty glitter in the pictures at the end. But there was a few Posca pin situations going on here and things like that that didn't make it onto the video just because the live show was over and I probably spent another 20 minutes maybe just looking at it and finishing, adding some dots and different things, finishing up with Posca pins. So, because that happens after the show. You look at the piece that you made during the show and you're like, it's not done. I still need to do a few more things because that's just the way it is. So you'll see most of it, but you won't see me put the white Posca pin or the light blue Posca pin on or the glitter. I did some splatters. I like splatters and I think they're interesting. So that's the dark blue Posca pin. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Just leave it gives it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment or question below. Subscribe, share. All those things help my channel. And here are your close-ups. Thanks. Bye-bye.